Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Milk and Cookies Total War. I am Mini Pride, and today we'll be taking Archaon the Everchosen into the depths of the Lustrian jungle to take on the Wood Elves of Athel Loren. Now, the Chaos Warriors are in a decent spot in the meta right now. They're not the most versatile of factions. They do one thing, but they do it pretty well, which is rush people, run them down, run them over, just get in your face with heavy metal, and basically just overwhelm you in a melee grind. So we're playing against the Wood Elves of Athel Loren. It's an interesting matchup. I think Chaos can do pretty well in it. I have not gone for a particularly meta build though. So we're going to zoom out here, take a look at the army comps real quick. You can see I have some Chaos Marauders out on each flank. Front line of Chaos Warriors with great weapons, some Chosen, and 2 Forsaken that I'll use to quickly scoot and shoot around the flanks, get in behind, and then hopefully go in for those hammer and anvils, because that's where their weapon strength will really kick in nicely. They've got 63 of that. That'll be really nice, especially when buffed up by Flaming Sword of Ruin. We can get them pretty powerful, so that should be fun. I also have 2 Chaos Knights and 2 Chaos Warhounds with poison. So this is a little bit dangerous, honestly. Again, I've not gone for a meta build in terms of the Wood Elves matchup. Chaos Knights are really fun. They're really cool. They can be extremely good. But when you're playing against the Wood Elves, they have a ton of cheap AP with the Eternal Guard, and they basically just have a lot of spears. The Azrai War Dancers and the Eternal Guard can all do a number on Chaos Knights, and they have Melkos and Mystifying Miasma, which is really good for slowing them down, and basically just kind of whittling them down over time. So it can be a pretty dangerous pick, but it can also be really good, because it means you have a ton of mobility. It means you have that hammer and anvil potential, and you can absolutely shatter a Wood Elf line, especially because they have low armor. If you get a good rear charge off of that 80 charge bonus, you're going to absolutely destroy them, and that'll be really fun. So the Chaos Warriors, the rear weapons are probably not the best pick. It might be better to just have some more shielded stuff, but it's some extra AP, which is not necessarily a bad thing. They have decent weapon damage. Again, not a ton of armor on the Wood Elves line, but if they bring Tree Spirits or something, those can be a kind of versatile pick there. So out on this flank, some more Chaos Warhounds with poison and some hidden Chaos Knights with lances. And looking at the Wood Elf build, we've got some Glade Riders with Hagbane tips moving up to do a little bit of skirmishing early on. Some more of those. He has 2 of them on the field. And then he has gone for a very wide build here. So 4 Eternal Guard, none with shields because he doesn't need them. Yes, they give a little bit of extra melee defense. Not the biggest deal. I don't have any missiles to speak of, so you don't really need the shielded version. That'll save him some money. He has 2 Wildwood Rangers and a lot of Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts, which are one of the most cost-effective, cheap, and best armor-piercing missile units in the game. For what you get for the price, these guys are insanely good, and you'll often see them over Way Watchers, even though Way Watchers are in a pretty good spot right now, just because they deal a lot of damage for a very measly price. Some more Eternal Guard in the back lines to block rear charges. He has 2 of those Wildwood Rangers again to kind of be the beefy armor-piercing front line. And then he has Durthu and a Branch Wraith. So Durthu, 78 melee attack, 500 weapon strength. Pretty terrifying. Wood Elves are arguably the best faction in the game right now. If not the best, they're certainly in the top 3. They're incredibly versatile. Really interesting faction. I always love playing them. And he's gone for a pretty versatile build, honestly. He has a lot of skirmish power out on the flanks. He's definitely got a lot of skirmish power on the main line with 4 of those Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts. And right now he's going to be trying to whittle me down while we close the gap here. And look at that beautiful background there. We got all the temples and the Aymara swamps here. Lustrian jungle. It's a beautiful thing indeed. And we'll get it popping. So, Chosen are really good right now. They are, let's just slow motion here and look at the stats real quick. So they've got 60 melee defense, 46 melee attack, and they've got that shield block chance, silver missile block chance. Against the Starfire Shafts, it's going to be really nice. They're just powerful, honestly. I think if you want to go for a truly meta build against Wood Elves, you probably want to have a wide front line of Marauders with shields, and then just bring like 4 Chosen with shields, and that can be insanely good for you because Wood Elves are going to have a really hard time chunking through all that armor, all that health, and all that missile block chance, even though they do have a lot of cheap AP. So let's get it started. My idea here is just run forward, engage these front line of Eternal Guard, and then get my Forsaken around the flank. Definitely get my Chaos Knights there. But at the moment, I'm trying to be a little bit sneaky and surround these Hagbane tip Glade Riders. They're scooting and shooting out here. Chaos Warhounds with poison. The issue here, and I actually didn't think about it when I was playing the game, was I thought I could catch them, and they certainly can. The problem is that my Chaos Warhounds with poison are getting poisoned as I chase after them. So if these guys didn't have the poison tips, I'd be able to catch them and probably munch them for dinner. The problem was that I'm getting poisoned at the moment too. So you can see my speed is all the way down to 73. That's making it a lot harder to catch up. So would have been better if I just didn't chase after him because I have taken some damage on these guys. I'm going to want to save them for the late game so I can run down those archers in the back lines. But yeah, I've taken some damage here, half health on the Chaos Warhounds with poison. I am zoning them out, so he can't shoot at my Marauders, which is good. But at the same time, kind of feeding a little bit of points his way. So moving up the Marauders right now. The lines are going to be clashing in earnest pretty soon here, and Archaon is actually going to be a pretty decent pick versus Wood Elves. Now, the issue with Archaon and Dorgar, Seed of the Apocalypse, is that he's incredibly expensive. You give him the Slayer of Kings, and you give him the Crown of Domination, which I think is definitely a good pick against the Wood Elves and Durthu, because you know he's going to be causing terror. You want that immune to psychology in an AoE. It's really nice. The problem with him is that he's like oh god, that guy just got destroyed with a shot to the face. You've got that immune to psych, which is really nice. You've got that extra 60% weapon damage, so you can easily get up to 800 weapon strength on Archaon, which is really nice in a duel with Durthu, because you deal magical damage and you deal fire damage, which are the two things that absolutely wreck Durthu. But issue with him, he's really expensive, which means that it's going to be hard to go quite as wide with the build as you might want to. So they're definitely better picks in this matchup. I think Sartorial the Everwatcher is definitely a better pick because of his missile resistance, the fact that he causes terror and has all that mobility. But still, I think Archaon can be decent. He just costs a lot of damn money. So, Chosen moving up now. Chaos Warriors moving up, Marauders moving up. So, big issue right off the start of the battle here. I have put my Chosen in a bad position. And this is not what you want to do. So right here, I should have had a meat shield for this Chosen unit. I saw the Wildwood Rangers moving up. This is not going to be a good engagement for the Chosen. Chosen will absolutely eviscerate pretty much any other melee unit on the field. But with the Wildwood Rangers, who have 42 weapon strength, a ton of armor piercing, they've now gone in and made contact with the unit that's going to hurt them pretty bad. So this is kind of a wasteful engagement right here. I'm going to take a lot more damage on my Chosen than I should have. Definitely should have put them in a different spot where I had maybe Marauders up front to absorb the charge of the Wildwood Rangers and get the Chosen in from behind or into a different engagement entirely. I do have my Forsaken moving around the flank here. Archaon was taking some shots from the Starfire Shafts, which was not ideal, so I moved him away. And I do have my Chaos Knights in the back lines ready to get some good charges off. As the Chaos Warriors charge in, I get a big melee engagement down the center of the line. Forsaken should be able to beat Eternal Guard quite nicely, and look at that rear charge here. Perfect. Forsaken directly into the back immediately, and this Eternal Guard should crumble, and that'll be very nice. Chaos Knights can shoot the gap right here. They will go directly into the Starfire Shafts and start destroying them. Big Earthblood hitting everything in the center. It's going to hit the Wildwood Rangers. It's going to hit the Eternal Guard. Very nice. Chaos Knights charging in from this side as well, and that should finish off the Eternal Guard. Very nice Penumbra and Pendulum on the front line, hurting some of my Chaos Warriors and my Chosen. And we're going to keep pushing through here and just try to tie down all these Starfire Shafts. Chaos Knights doing a really good job of that so far. Durthu's getting a thick of the fighting, but we basically just tying up all these archers, making sure they can't do the damage that is required to really hurt me. And they will hurt me if I let those things fire for a long time. No cost mystifying miasma going down on my Chaos Knights, make it harder for them to disengage, and there's a lot of AP, a lot of bonus first large right there on the field, so you can see my Chaos Knights are taking a lot of damage. And I have my Chaos Warhounds moving around the flank as I get another big charge into the center of the Starfire Shafts, and it shouldn't be long before that entire archer unit is dead. Durthu's coming over to reinforce, and melee engagement is going pretty well right now. So let's see how things are going. We had the Forsaken route, but they did come back. They don't have the greatest leadership, so they will definitely route sometimes. We have the Chaos Warhounds not being utilized at the moment. It would be really good if I had them coming in from behind as well. Branch Wraith and Durthu doing pretty well at the moment. Chaos Knights have gotten their charges off. Not a massive amount of kills so far, but I'm definitely winning the main frontline engagement for the moment. Big issue, there's a Wildwood Ranger with full HP, and pulling out my Chaos Knights is going to be pretty tough with all these Eternal Guard nearby. But overall, game's going relatively decently so far. I do have Archaon the Everchosen coming in to reinforce and overwhelm Durthu here with the Chaos Knights. So, first thing I'm going to want to do here when I engage is pop Flaming Sword of Ruin. So, if you pop Flaming Sword of Ruin down, you get plus 25% weapon damage. On top of the Slayer of Kings, yeah, you can easily get over 800, and you're dealing magical damage, which will bypass his physical resistance, and it's pretty good. Issue is he has almost 8,000 HP, so taking him down can be pretty tough, but this is what I want, right? Like, he has the reinforcements of his Chaos Knights, and we're basically completely surrounding him here. That'll be Flaming Sword of Ruin going down. Slayer of Kings should be popped pretty soon here as well. Yeah, and he's up to 976 weapon strength. So, I mean, that 7,500 HP can start going down real quick. Meanwhile, Chosen engaging the Eternal Guard up to 33 kills, but they're fighting some Wildwood Rangers too, not an ideal engagement. Forsaken trying to overwhelm the Eternal Guard on the flank, and Chaos Knights and Warhounds just running down all these archers in the back lines. But I have to be careful because they can come back and start shooting at me again. Branch Wraith is coming in to reinforce. Durthu is kind of isolated, you see. He's already lost 2,000 of his HP in only a couple of seconds here, but he has a lot of AP himself, so Archaon can take some damage. And we're just going to try to overwhelm the big tree man, Big Dick Durthu, doing what he does best, just slaying things with the Sword of Death. It's an engagement that I like. I think that we can kill him here if we keep that up. Chaos Knight's got a rear charge into the Eternal Guard, but now there is a bit of an issue. A lot of these Starfire shafts have returned. I didn't manage to run them all down as quickly as I would have liked to, and now that AP is going to start kicking in and doing a lot of damage to my high-value targets. And Chosen, Chaos Knights, those are not the kind of things you want getting shot by really cost-effective missiles. So, not ideal there. Chaos Knights look like they're about to tear her out, which is not so good. And Archaon's going to continue beating on Durthu with the Slayer of Kings. But it's tough. Bringing down the big tree man is really tough here. We do have some Chosen Forsaken pushing up here, and Chaos Knights will get a really nice charge, but that's a nice use of the Hagbane tips to kind of tie them down and surround them. And getting a rear charge, that might be enough to make these Chaos Knights rout, even though I am killing a lot of his archers. Yep, they're wavering right now. More Starfire shafts, ammo getting poured in, and some of my routing units are getting put under my control. They're coming back, but they're really low, and Archaon is now isolated. His Chaos Knight's routed. I'm going to have to pull him out, rethink that engagement. Chosen, still doing well here in the center. The Wildwood Rangers up to 55 kills. That's not so good. And a lot of that skirmish fire still pouring in. Got some more Forsaken coming in as well. The Hagbane tips being used really nicely to make sure that those Chaos Knights can't come back to the fight. And Chosen now surrounded by a rear charge from the Blade Riders. Things are starting to look a little bit iffy for me at the moment. Archaon coming in. And I've got an idea here. So I'm going to charge into melee with Slayer of Kings. And we're going to get a burning head onto a big blob of troops. I lied. That's Flaming Sword of Ruin. Flaming Sword of Ruin going down. And Archaon is not in such a good spot. We got Sword of Death. It's going to hurt the rest of my Chaos Warriors here. Might cause a terror rout. And there's the burning head. As the Eternal Guard move up. We got a big, scary skull ripping through the line. That's going to do a lot of damage. But it won't do anything to Durthu. That's really all that matters. That'll be enough to pretty much seal the deal here. And Durthu and the Wood Elves will take it as Dorgar and Archaon make their last stand. They are going to rout pretty soon. Got about 45 kills with him, but it was not enough. So, what could have been done better there? Well, for one, Forsaken were a unit that used to be incredibly good in the matchup. I don't think they're terrible, but one of the issues was, and this is the same thing that's affected the Empire, Bretonia, a lot of factions that relied on their charge bonus in Game 1. There's a big shift from Game 1 to Game 2 where units got higher health pools, lower charge bonuses, and that made some units like Greatswords and Forsaken that hit really hard rely on their charge bonus and rely on taking a unit's combat effectiveness out of the equation really early on. It meant that those units got a lot worse. So that's why Greatswords and Empire in general are much less effective. Their knights aren't as good at charging now. Forsaken kind of got hit by the same thing. So they're nowhere near as good as they used to be. They used to absolutely munch through Eternal Guard in about 5 seconds. They don't do that anymore. So even though 73, 49 kills is not bad, and I did use them pretty well. You saw I got a rear charge off with one of them. They didn't really do as much as I would have liked them to. Chaos Warrior with Great Weapon, not a great choice against the Wood Elves. Honestly, probably should have just gone for a regular Chaos Warrior with shields, or gone for more Chosen. So these right here are a great pick. Honestly, they're a really nice pick against the Wood Elves. I think you probably want to go even wider than that. You can afford more than that. There are a couple problems here with the build. And again, I realize this going into it, but I don't necessarily like playing the same meta stuff over and over again. I could always pick Kolak, I could always go Chaos Lord and go for a much wider build that's more effective, but I like being able to use these cool named characters, and Archaon doesn't get a lot of love, even though he can be quite good. Again, super expensive though, 3,000 gold. He's not worth that price tag. That kind of gimps you a little bit there as well. Chaos Knights, very good unit. I think probably 1 in this matchup would be fine. I'm not sure that 2 is worth it. Microing both those against all these spears can be pretty challenging. You can see that it kind of hurt me there. Big issue for me in terms of micromanagement. I had my Chaos Warhounds chase after those Hagbane tipped Blade Riders. when I should not have. If they had been full HP near the end of that game, I could have run down those Starfire shafts, made sure they didn't come back to start shooting me again after I routed them, and that would have been big. I don't know if it would have won me the game or not, but it would have helped a lot. Not allowing these 4 units to fire in the late stages would have been really nice, and they would have been perfect for running them down. But yeah, the Chosen did decently for me, except for this one that I just put into a bad engagement. So plenty of mistakes there. Chaos can do great in this matchup, I think, but you've got to play well. I don't know that I played terribly, but I definitely made some decent micro mistakes and macro mistakes that would have made it much easier to win if I had not made those. For his build, just a good pick, honestly. He went very wide. Eternal Guard hold the line super well. They're a great choice versus Chaos. They're a great choice versus most factions. Wildwood Rangers, great to anchor the line with all that AP. Even though this one didn't do particularly well, they just do a lot of damage. And then the Glade Riders to run down stuff after they've shot all their ammunition worked out very nicely for him. Hope you guys enjoyed this game, and hope the irony of Big Dick Durthu losing to the Wood Elves isn't lost on you. I'll see you next time. Any Pride signing out for now.